Two things. One, have you ever thought about like in this setups to study real, like to have the Mishneh Torah, to study Mishneh Torah or something, or the Shulchan Aruch even?
You're asking
And
me like if I give a class on
yeah,
Mishneh Torah?
maybe the like in you do this 2 days a week, no? Like maybe one or two
Yeah,
days.
I don't understand the whole notion of having an online study class in terms of Mishneh Torah because it sort of defeats the purpose of Mishneh Torah, like even Shulchan Aruch, because Shulchan Aruch, as per the instructions of Rav Yosef Karo, is an abridged version of Beit Yosef to make it easier for anyone to study on their own, including Mishneh Torah. Like in the Hakdama, it says, well, you don't even need rabbis anymore. You could just study this. It's like selling Coca-Cola. It's like people are going to get it anyways.
Well,
I don't
I
understand what's
think
the point of just repeating. I mean,
I
something with
think
the
it two things.
good.
For example, the one thing that I think is that sometimes is like to learn Hebrew. One that's one thing, and the other thing is to because there are things that they are not so easy understandable from the text.
Right. So I have around 20 classes. I start all the way from the Hagdama to the end of Hilchot Shabbat. And I did maybe like 6 years ago. But I just tell people to just go to the Chabad and just do the Rambam daily if they're starting off. That's not my calling. I'm more like an investigative reporter. So I like bringing things that people have never heard of and just encouraging and pointing people in the right direction. My time's limited because I work for a living, so every day I try to just put out as many videos as I can talking about different topics. People have called me like if I could learn with them one-on-one. I'm like, that's not me. That's it.
Okay. The other thing will be, have you heard the recent videos from Rabbi Rahim about the Sanhedrin? How do you set up a Sanhedrin? Did you hear that class?
No. I understand the logic behind it. So the Rambam in his Persian Mishnayot and in Mishneh Torah, he gives his opinion on how it's put together. I don't know how that is binding from any perspective if people know that it's just the Rambam's opinion. Just because the Rambam quotes Sefer Yeshayahu that it says that he's going to restore the judges, that doesn't mean anything. First of all, that's talking about before that Geulah from Bavel, not now. In 1538, the Mari Beirav, Yaakov Beirav in Sfat, took the Rambam's formula and tried to get all the Chachamim to agree. They didn't agree, but they gave smicha anyways, which is a smicha people have nowadays, right? But
Well,
I don't
actually,
understand.
he speaks that the way to go on this is not to have 71 people and in one place, not, but to start with three people, to start speaking about these topics, like for example of kitniot, and to start getting out to take out the galut from the people, and you start with three, and then there are five, and there are 10, and until you get to 71.
Yeah, but you don't need a Sanhedrin for that. In other words, what can a Sanhedrin actually bring to the table? Like, people don't even keep the laws that are on the books now. I don't think, outside of Agunot, and there's many rabbis who already figure out how to get around women who can't get divorces. There's ways around it, just people don't want to come to a consensus on how it's done. But there's many rabbis who've given their opinion. Well, outside of that, what do we need a Sanhedrin for? Think about it. It's going to be run by Chabad, by Breslov, by Satmar, by Bavov, and they're going to be putting people to death, and they're going to be creating new laws that is going to make Judaism less appealing. So I'm happy if there's no Sanhedrin, well, at least for now, and there's no temple, because first we have to get our act together.
Well,
if people only kept the halachot on the books right now, like Judaism would take over. If Judaism would have an open door policy, just like the Muslims, I'm not saying like dawah from Speaker's Corner and people going up in the street. No, just an open door policy. The vast majority of Jews would be converts, and then people would be treating each other nice. We don't need another Sanhedrin. We just have to keep the laws that are there. The actual laws.
Sounds like we need another prophet.
Oh, well, we're all prophets here, to a certain extent.
I don't want to say Mashiach, but like a prophet to come to say, pull your finger out.
Like Muhammad.
You do it wrong.
Or Ellen White.
Yeah.
It's funny, the Rambam, I think, doesn't limit prophecy to the destruction of the Second Temple. That's one medrash. It says that after the destruction of the Second Temple, prophecy was only given to like crazy people and children. But I think the Rambam holds there's prophecy today. Right? Clearly, like, we're not in Israel. This is not that level of prophecy. But I think anyone who's crying out for people to do teshuvah is a prophet to a certain extent. Back then, when it was Sanhedrin, every prophet was tested by the Sanhedrin, and they also sat on the court, at least according to the beginning of Perkavot and the Hakdama of the Rambam. It says that they had their own court, every prophet. But yeah, we don't need a prophet for. A prophet is just there not to tell you new things, just to reiterate what the Torah says. Pretty much all they do.
I guess a prophet, though, to pull everyone back in line, to say that I don't know, this sect of Judaism's out. Just like a
but
prophet like
no prophet
Jeremiah.
like that ever existed.
Well, like Jeremiah.
I mean, people used to beat up the prophets and throw them down wells and stuff. I mean, nobody took prophets, seriously, but we're all prophets now to a certain extent. We're doing the job of the prophet. God.
Well, actually, I did think that what you're teaching about and like converts, etc., and what Rabbi Haim speaking about, these are two aspects of Geulah, and like because Yeshayahu speaks explicitly. I remember, I think it's Perek Bet that says in the second pasuk, which says that in those times the people from the nation coming to Judaism, to Torah, and it's like something that both things, like we need to reconstitute the nation, the Jewish nation, and I think the non-Jews or the converts, to be more precise, be more new ideas in a religious aspect. I don't know. I do think that these two aspects that you both speak about, and you're not speaking about, but other people will be, are the things that we need to be able to come to this place where we will be able to have, we will be much more near to the Geulah because of the converts. I was thinking about what it says in Zechariah, that the people will come to a Jew and grab him from the corners of his garments and will tell him, take us with you because we know that God is with you. And I think it's interesting because why does he say take us with you? Like, why does he say we come to you? Because I think that it says take us to you because we as a converts, we need to sometimes tell them what they are doing wrong because they are not in the right place, and we will be the ones who will be with good ideas, will be constituting to have one Torah and one Judaism, and to take out that Galut Judaism. I don't know if I'm clear about what I'm trying to
No,
convey.
I hear you. Chazal, they make the statement that Gerim, they're Kashim, they're like a sapachat on Israel. They're hard on Israel like a sore. So Tosfos, Avram Hagea writes there, he says that the reason it says that we're like a sapachat is because we're so from that we make Jews look bad. The thing with David Bar Chaim is that he doesn't proselytize. I think that if people would know that he's speaking to them, things would change. If rabbis just tried a little bit, everyone would become Jewish. It's not even, I mean, look at all the Messianic rabbis. These guys really don't know much. I mean, things are going to change. I mean, think about it. In the last 15 years, look how much things have changed. In South America and Latin America, there are so many people practicing Torah Judaism. All right, the rationalist voice is still a little small, but it's bigger than before. There's a lot of Facebook groups. Yeah, no, things will change. What I like bringing to the table is dialogue. I mean, I think that's one thing that people don't do enough of in the Jewish world. People who know they're right. I want to see Rabbi David Bar Chaim try to debate people because he has access to them.
Yeah, actually, and I think that's what this Sanhedrin should be about. Like these people being open-minded and speaking together.
Yeah, but that's if we run it.
have a consensus.
Yeah, it's only if we run it. Look, the last Sanhedrin, who was the Nasi? It was Adin Steinsaltz, which is a Chabad rabbi.
Yeah, I understand, and actually, he speaks about that failure of the Sanhedrin in Tiberia. He speaks about that.
Yeah, I don't think we need another Sanhedrin. Every time Rabbi David Bar Chaim gets a chance, he just talks about kitniot. Now, trust me, I love eating kitniot and Eikebrux. You know, I think whether you have bigger battles to fight instead of kitniot.
Actually, he says that this is the beginning. Like, and I hear it. And actually, what do I think? I think it's the beginning is Tahalet. I think Tahalet is having a little bit. It's a very big change because people will need to change their old ways to start wearing Tahalet, and this will be the first. But Rabbi Haim,
Yeah, but Tahalet is not an issue. In America, a lot of people wear Tahalet. In Eretz Israel, a lot of people. Yeah.
But there's still very close-minded rabbis who don't want to use it. So I do think that the fact that the Jewish people and Jewish rabbis and mystical rabbis are beginning to use Tahalet is a good sign that they are willing to change. And if they are willing to change in this, I think it will be much easier to start with other changes in the Jewish nation.
Really?
I don't know if that's if that's the aleph. I think there's much more chashuv, much more important things to deal with before that.
No, I agree with him. You have to make.
But if you start dealing with those things, you will not be able to go too much farther, because like
You think
try
so?
making Jews change their way of with treating converts. Like I don't think it will start working in the near future. I think it will be in 2 3 generations, but we need to start with something. And I think, for example, Tehalet and Kidniot will be something that people will be more willing to accept. And this is the first step, and the last step is constituting the nation in the most real and the in definite important issues.